Good morning, YouTube tribe. Welcome to Vlog Wednesday. Today we are talking about how to turn your negative thinking into positive thinking. We're going to do 5 ways to do that, starting right now. All right, guys, we're going to get right into it. I wanted to talk about negative thinking versus positive thinking today and give you guys 5 ways to change your negative thinking habits into positive outcomes for you. So let's start with treating yourself as well as the people in your life. What that means, number one thing, you would never say the way, you would never speak to yourself the way you speak to others, or at least you shouldn't. A lot of times that's reversed when you're having issues with negative thinking. You're talking about yourself in the negative and talking to the people in your life, trying to raise them up, and you're being really kind to them and all that. But why aren't you also kind to you? Otherwise, your own kindness is limited. You can only serve so much, because use any analogy you want. If the cup is empty, if the bowl is empty, I mean, if you're not full on your end, then you're not going to be able to blah, blah. Always. I've never stuttered until now. The people in your life are a good way to show you what you're capable of as far as appreciation and love for people, and you should apply that to yourself. Just treating yourself as kindly as you would treat someone else does wonders for your thinking mentality, because it even gives you a reward feeling, the dopamine and the serotonin. When you feel like you're doing a good thing, you're pushing forward that positive and trying to take out that negative, you get a self-reward out of that. That is a great motivator for you, because not everybody is easy to be kind to and gentle with, and some people are hard to communicate with. But all you need to worry about is making sure that you're good and you're putting that positivity forward, because it will squash negativity if you cling to it. And when you notice people trying to change that around, you'll start to become mindful of how that is serving you or not, and be able to set some boundaries. Number 2, more specifically, adjust your self-talk. I have the biggest habit of making jokes about my weight as a defense mechanism, because I feel like if the people that I'm talking to are not as uncomfortable, then I won't be either. Because just like any other change or issue that makes you stand out from other people, if you feel like, like I'm a big lady. I mean, I'm working on it, and I've been bigger and I've been smaller. It fluctuates because that's what's supposed to happen. But I'm a big girl, so I've had a lot of this. You walk in a room and it's like you feel that the vibe has changed, and while they're vibing about, are they gonna sit next to me? Are they gonna do this? I'm going, where's the biggest chair? Where's the least, shallow Hal chair? I don't want to break anything. But that's not even an issue. It's me. I'm doing that to myself with negative self-talk. It's all in my head. No one's coming up to me and going, hey, fat ass, get out of here. No, I'm projecting that. So they may be talking about things that have nothing to do with me, but I'm putting it out there because I would have negative self-talk about my weight, which I am working on, because like I've said, I'm not fat. I have fat within my body, and I just have more than I'm supposed to. Working on it. So a couple of examples of this are 3 things. These are 3 things that people normally assume about me, even my family sometimes, and they just don't have the same mentality. And these are things that I've already changed, so it was easy to share. So if someone thinks of you as rootless, you move around a lot, or you seem flaky in your decisions, or impulsive, those are 3 ways that can automatically go to the negative. When you hear someone say, you know what, you're kind of flaky, you're not really dependable, how am I going to know where you are in 2 years? You move all the time. You change jobs all the time. You change your mind about what you're going to major in college all the time. You switch partners all the time. These are judgments and projections from people who either have an issue that they need to resolve within themselves. They may be jealous of your freedom. They may be aggravated by their limitations in contrast to your freedom, or they may just be a misery loves company kind of person. But when you hear someone say something like rootless, what I hear is free spirit. When someone says kind of flaky, I say I'm adventurous. And when people say that I'm too impulsive, I say I'm brave. I've lived in 5 or 6 states now. I moved around a bunch as a kid, and usually when that happens, you have one of two outcomes. One is that you continue feeling that way, moving around all the time, because that's what feels normal. That's what felt normal to me. Plus, I was on a search that I didn't know that I was on yet. My journey started a long time before I realized I was on my journey. But these are words that you have control over. I like to be adventurous. I like to mix it up and be like, hey, I know I'm not that young anymore, like in my 20s or even early 30s, when I could hop in a car and drive all night and end up somewhere in the morning, go all day from being excited to be there, and then crash that night and enjoy this adventure. And with my health limitations now, I can't do that. But I'm never letting go of the fact that it's an adventure, even if it's within this limitation. I mean, my wife and I have moved twice now. We're in our third living space since I moved here in 2017, because that, changing your environment, changing what's around you is not always a bad thing. Putting yourself from a situation of difficulty into a situation of availability and opportunity opens things up for you and takes things out like stress and worry. And when you have those things, it's much harder to feel positive. So even though we may have some judgment about us moving around a lot or figuring out what kind of car we're going to drive and all those things, I just look at it as, you know what? You don't get judgment when you're trying to try on a bunch of shoes. You want to make sure that the shoe fits. It doesn't pinch your toes. It doesn't cause, that blister on the back of the heel. You may have to try on a few pairs of shoes before you're like, yeah, these are the ones for me. So why shouldn't life choices be at least as invested in as something like that? It's just a thought. Number 3, look for behavior patterns you want to change, not what other people tell you need to change. So this one is kind of hard. It's an overlap situation, because we do respond to our environment. We do respond to the people in our lives. They are our mirrors. They reflect who we are by choosing them to be in our lives in the first place. And if you start to notice a pattern of behavior of yourself because a friend has said to you, it's really annoying the way you do insert thing here. If someone is your friend and coming to you with an issue that bothers them, first thing they're going to do is come at it a little differently than that. Most people who want to retain a relationship don't come at it full force with something they need to be confrontational about or bring up something that's going to test the strength of the relationship, because it's really easy to have a relationship when everything's going well. But when you don't have things going well, the relationship starts to struggle. So that is no more true. That is no more true with anybody than it is with yourself. You have a relationship with yourself, whether you think you do or not, you do. And your behaviors contribute to your personality and who you are. And some of them are learned and some of them are chosen. So take a look at, if it will be successful for you, if what you're changing is about your growth. And even if that means, hey, I'm taking better care of myself and eating better because that makes me healthy, which lets me take care of this person or that thing. It keeps me in my job or my traveling or whatever it is, whatever your passion is in life, even if you don't know it yet. I know your passion isn't sitting around being told all the ways that you're living life wrong, because people have expectations and they project them onto you. So watch those behavior patterns. If it's not tied to the expectations of others, if it's just for you, then that's your motivation. You want to see that reward for you, not as a guarantee for someone else to continue to accept you as you are. Because if they have those limitations, they're not accepting you as you are anyway. So this is not about kicking people out of your life. This is about introspection. This is about you. Don't focus on the people out there right now, other than the suggestion for behavior patterns, and making sure that if you start to notice in your friends or in interactions with people that your personality shifts, the energy shifts, and you're kind of like, oh, I have to, oh, here they come, I got to get ready for this one. Or, oh gosh, here they come, I'm so excited. Your initial gut instinct response to just someone being in your presence is a great way for you to figure out if they should be in your presence. If they don't make you automatically want to turn around or hide or blend in behind the ficus tree, then you will know, and if they are there and supportive and you're like, I love talking to them, they're always encouraging, or even if they talk about themselves, it's always inspiring. So even though it's all about them, I still get something out of it. That is like epically the biggest thing that would be true on YouTube. I mean, having people watch your videos and having a video go viral, or just having enough people paying attention that that your voice is being heard, is just as awesome. And it's the same basic principle. So number 4, select your brain and soul food carefully. Be specific about where you spend your time, because when you are, just like with healthy eating, you balance if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to maintain. One of my best friends, she has a plan that she eats really well all week, but she sets aside a day where she can have a meal, not the whole day, but a meal that's like, I'm going to eat whatever I want. I want that steak and a potato and this and wine and a dessert. Bring it on. Because then the other 6 days, she's right back to her discipline, her self-discipline on what she eats. And that keeps her healthy and motivated to stay that way. And is no different with things that we invest our time in. That's our consciousness. That's time away from other things in our lives. We are making a conscious choice about what we're investing ourselves in. And this means everything from reading to websites you visit, like Reddit. Reddit has a rabbit hole that has no end. I mean, there are still people down there that haven't come up for light in days. And like walking out of a movie theater when they're like, oh, I have been on Reddit for so long. I know everything. I know all the latest rules. And I know that meme is already expired, so I better not use it, or otherwise I'll be called an idiot. Seriously, there's a lot of trolls. But other social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, things I haven't mentioned because that's how little I know about the newest things. Games on your phone, games in your home, gamers. There's, for people that are gamers, for example, that is a passion they're thriving in. So they're doing their passion. So even though maybe for us, gaming is not it, just like maybe for the gamer, not watching, a video about how to make overnight oatmeal. I don't know where that crossover would be, but someone who's more interested in healthy eating would be more drawn to that. And a gamer is not something that needs to be changed as long as the life is balanced. But games on your phone, do you sit there with your phone and just your phone in general? Let's go ahead and unpack that a little. Your phone in general. We are all, you notice my hand is doing this. My hand is doing this because it's like I hold my phone in this hand and I have the claw now, the phone claw. And I use my thumb like this, and this is how I hold it. So that's just a natural way. That's telling me that I hold my phone too much. On your phone, I don't know on Android because I couldn't switch back once I went to iPhone to Android. It honestly was too complicated. I feel like iPhone is just, it's made for people to be like, tell me how to do things. So I don't know what I was going to say because of my memory, but your phone has so many things. You have your apps that you use for fun. For my accent's coming out. What are you going to use it for? What do you use your phone for? I mean, you have things that are helpful like GPS, calculator, and other apps that you install for yourself. But there's also probably a bunch of games on there. The last time I had a bunch of games, it was Fancy Pants and Candy Crush and little things like that that are just time suckers. And it's not that there's not a time and place for it, but what are you feeling when you're in that space? What shows are you watching? Do you notice that you're watching a lot in a certain genre? And do you normally watch that genre? Just pay attention to yourself. Do some self-observation to notice. You can even do it with journaling. Try and pay attention to, hey, I watched, good example, really good for right now, good example. I keep feeling like there's going to be a belch, and I don't want to be like, rawr. If it happens, though, it happens. Everybody does it. But I'm trying to prevent it. So right now, one of the biggest contributors to potential negative thinking, stress, worry, the unknown, the darkness unknown that bothers people. I'm literally afraid of the dark. I'll circle back to that if I remember. Watching the news, I think, is the worst scary movie on right now. Because it's not really a scary movie, even though the number of things like outbreak and pandemic and whatever on Netflix and this on the like did surprise me. I didn't even remember that one was made from way back when, because yeah, that's what's trending. Okay, so watching the news means you're trying to stay informed, but if that's all you're doing all day, especially if you're not looking at all but one network, then you're at a greater risk of feeling down. That happened just a few days ago with me. I posted it. We watched the news. I heard about all the nursing home things, and it really upset me. Plus, I have my anxiety. It triggered me right away. And that video is on this channel if that's something you want to watch. But that's why you need to be mindful. I know that there are certain movies, shows, and other types of media food that actually, it's like, if we're talking about this as being food, then that would be the equivalent of food poisoning. Okay, so you want to think about it and go, you know what, I don't want to eat that undercooked chicken. I don't feel like having salmonella today. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to look at other avenues. I'm going to balance my websites with positive and reinforcing positive ideas. And if you're on Reddit, then customize your front page to make sure that you have some good things coming in, some funny things coming in, and you're still keeping up with what's going on. There's a million ways that you could tailor this to yourself. The main idea is treating these things, whatever comes into you, mind, body, spirit, all of that, it is all going to become a part of you. So you should be more mindful about what it is. There's nothing wrong with being picky, because it's a way of protecting yourself. All right, and number 5, pay attention to your social circle, and if you are surrounded or not by supportive people, or is it all about them? Is it all negative? Do you feel like, you feel lighter or better or more comfortable or comforted by these people? Do you have a friend or a family member that is always very difficult to deal with, but you don't want to lose that relationship, but you don't know what to do about how to connect with them because they bring you down? It's hard for you to come back up. Like, as an empath, I pick up on people's energy very quickly. If you walk into a room and it's like, you can feel that change. You can feel the tension or the happiness or the awkwardness. There's all these feelings, and as soon as you walk into a room, you can feel that vibe. You feel automatically welcome or not. You feel automatically able to socialize or not. And when you're doing this with people that you're actually supposed to be hanging out with, your social circle, number one, are you doing things in that social circle that you would have done anyway? Like, are your friends all into bar hopping and you're not? And then you get left in the dust because you're not a bar hopper and you're not there for the reasons they are, and so you end up getting the shaft on any socializing at all. Those aren't friends. That was people that need a bumper in case something didn't work out. They'd come flock back to you. You're the wingman. You're the maid of honor, those who can't do teach. The problem with that mentality is that the people that are on the outskirts, that are being the ones left out of the socializing because they're not doing exactly what all their friends are doing, these are the people that are probably the best friends to have in the circle. Pay attention to people that share common goals of avoidance that you do, like a movie like Girl Interrupted, for example. I am very, very sensitive to energy that is of the psyche, the different mental diseases and things like that. And that was a really great movie anyway. But if I watch it and I'm at all feeling like I'm not good, like if I feel a little depressed or I feel a little anxious or anything like that, and watch that movie, it will prolong my feelings for days. Everybody has their own things. It could be music that reminds you of people, exes, or sadness of loss of some kind, or anger. I mean, any of these feelings that they could invoke. Your friends are just another example of that. It's not just, it's from the inside out. So you're starting in here, self-talk. You're starting to look for the patterns around you. You're going to be more cognizant of what you're putting in your head, viewing with your eyes, thinking about what would best serve you. What do you need? Self-reflect. If you need comedy because you haven't smiled in days, then find something that makes you laugh. Watch that movie, even if it's the 100th time. You'll always see something new. I guarantee you that. So select that food for your mind, body, and soul. Choose it very carefully, and as well as your social circle. Pay attention to who you're spending time with and how that affects who you are and your self-acceptance. These should all be people that are accepting of you, even if they don't jive with everything that you jive with. That's what a friend really is. They grow and you grow, and you overlap in the good ways, and then you have your own thing when you don't get along, and that's okay too. So this is my final little message before I do my shout out. Think of it as, what is your default setting? Because you could change that by just doing that, right? By just flipping the switch to something else. And I know that it's not supposed to be suggested as that easy, but I'm telling you, guys, tribe, I'm telling you, whether anybody's even watched the video from last night, I'm still learning algorithms. I don't know how the hell this works. I'm not getting a lot of traffic. I don't know how to fix it. And instead of getting down about it, which I have been earlier in the week, I felt like one of my videos I never even got to upload for you guys because it was so long and I couldn't edit it because I've never done that before. And instead of automatically thinking, well, then why would I feel like a failure? I've never done it before. Of course I don't know how to do it. Of course the quality's not going to be perfect and amazing right off the bat. Of course I'm going to have things that people are like, this sucks. I'm not even watching the full 6 minutes, now let alone the 25 that's about to be up here. But when I posted that video last night telling you guys about Tarot Tuesday and that little bit of myself, the amount of freedom it gave me is just amazing. It's the best feeling, and it made me feel more positive. It made me feel more open and more free. It made me feel like I could be myself, and my biggest fears that kept me from doing that was what other people would think. What is my family going to think when they hear that I'm into tarot, and that I'm talking about being an empath, and I'm on a soul journey, that I utilize shamanic drums because that's my best connective sound. I'm not just, saying it like everybody has a little Indian heritage, Native American heritage. My family is from a specific tribe, and I really connect with that side of me, the Native American, the symbolism, not symbology, the symbolism, the music, the chants, the healing, everything about it. It speaks right to me. And you have to find what speaks to you. And as soon as you do, it just feels so great. Like, I'm on here and I know that I'm still, doing the same kind of thing. It's bland background. I'm frumpy because I'm usually sitting on my bed instead of in the chair by the window, and I'm looking down at notes because I haven't memorized all my lines, and I haven't settled on an intro, and just I'm taking my time to see what comes of the channel, because part of the reason why I'm doing this is also for me. So if I can't at least get something out of it, then I know you guys won't get anything out of it. So I'm making that effort, and that means that until I get used to everything, I'm going to be looking at notes and losing my train of thought, and that may happen anyway just because of my memory. So I hope that you guys got something out of this, the 5 ways to change your thought patterns from negative to positive, and the suggestions. I hope they were helpful. Be sure to leave in comments anything that resonated with you, or anything you think people would need to hear in addition, or if you think that I wasn't really on the point about something. Share it. There's more than one perspective. There's more than one way to do something. Every time there's more than one way. So don't forget to like and subscribe. You can hit the notification bell if that's your thing. I look forward to seeing you guys for Foodie Friday. Nobody has even watched last Foodie Friday, so if I need to take a content away because nobody's interested, I will figure that out too. I'm gonna give it one more try this Friday though, and then we'll go from there, because you'll let me know. Be good to yourselves. Sorry guys, I forgot to do my shout out. I don't want to forget to give other people some praise. Today I would like to give a little gratitude and say thank you and shout out to the YouTube channel Sailing La Vagabond. If you know who they are, you know how awesome their channel is. It's a couple, Elena, and I always forget his name until Lenny is their son. Anyway, I'm sorry I don't remember the names. It's my memory, not my lack of interest, but Sailing La Vagabond is the channel name, and they live on the water, and they have an amazing life, and their videos are super awesome, like professional, and pretty much the opposite of mine. So, and if you're at all interested or feel drawn to water like I am, then you will always enjoy their footage. And yeah, so that's my shout out, and I'm so sorry I forgot both to do it. And Riley, Elena and Riley, and their son Lenny. I got it. And Riley adds in the humor a little bit, and Elena is very easy to watch, very grounded, very honest, and it's good. So if you haven't checked it out, please do so. And again, be good to yourselves.